Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Akakwadash. And I want to say Shalom to Yakman Akwat out there, pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's like a follow-up to yesterday's lesson that was titled, Don't Be Like These People. And I was actually debating on just titling it Don't Be Like These People Part 2. But it wasn't really a part 2. It's kind of just something that came after as I was looking through my Bible notes, thinking about what to make a lesson on today. And so the title of this one is More on Being Different Than These People. And this one, is, yesterday we talked a little bit about, not being like these people, not following a multitude to do wickedness. But today is more so focused on, and there was worldly a concept was brought up, but today's more focused on scriptures about worldliness and a carnality, because really the carnality and the worldliness and, the fear of, I wouldn't say FOMO, right? The fear of missing out, I guess it's a little bit there, or, the fear of rejection, I guess, can be a thing that, you don't want to get a hold of you, right? Like I said, they'll say, oh, you're being disrespectful, or, oh, just try it one last time, or, oh, look at this, or like, oh, you don't want to, you have these people that are treating you different because you're different, and that's just something you got to get comfortable with in this truth, man. You are gonna get treated different because you are different, right? You're not gonna be, if you're an apple, you're not gonna taste like an orange, right? If you're an orange, you're not gonna taste like an apple, all right? But, you're different, okay? And you can't be surprised about that. It's a good thing that you're different than these people. If you look at these people out in the world, you should want to be different than these people. You should want to be ostracized by these people, because they have that saying, if they don't like me, then I must be doing something good. Well, that's biblical, really. All right, because if you're doing something right and these people are doing something wrong, all right, they're going to view you as doing wrong and them as doing right. For example, there's the scripture, roughly paraphrasing, that says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put light for darkness and dark for light, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter, right? And if a brother wants to put that in the comment board, he can. So, yeah, man, these they're all as they would say, ass backwards, all right, back asswards, all right. They're all mixed up and muddled up. They think all the good things are bad and all the bad things are good. So if they think you're weird, that means you're not weird. If they think you're bad, that means you're good. If they think you're evil, that means you're good. If they think you're stupid, that means you're smart, all right. So that's something you need to take into consideration always with dealing with these people, because again, they're the ones that are the odd ones out, all right, not you. They're odd, not you. You're walking according to the ways that Yahweh Shemi Shai wants you to walk, or at least, you should be to the best of your ability. And these devils are out there, doing nothing but sustaining their own worldly lusts, all right, and satisfying, all right, their own, satiating is the word I was looking for. Sustaining as well, because it's prolonged, all right, sustaining and satiating their worldly lusts, okay? And they don't have Yahweh Shemi Shai, as close with them, of course, these 2/3, they're, all of Israel's power is Yahweh Shemi Shai, but some of them have rejected, all right, the Lord, so the Lord has rejected them. But they have a God, it's just they've rejected him. So you need to want to really, be on the same level of these people, right? So I'm going to get Romans 8:5 through 8. And again, the title of this lesson is More on Being Different Than These People. So Romans 8:5, we're going to go down through 8, or 9. It says, in verse 5, it says, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. Okay, the things of the flesh, those that are after the flesh is referring to people that, they don't care about law or, Yahweh Shemi Shai. They care about the things of the flesh, homosexuality. All right, it's something that, even it's disgusting, all right, but they like the way it makes them feel, or smoking, they like the way it makes them feel, or drug use, they like the way it makes them feel, or, having long hair as a man, all right, that they like the way that it makes them feel, all right, these are all things that you're that you feel like, your flesh, you like, okay, these aren't things, that are spiritual matters, it's just something that you happen to like. So, it says, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. right? So there's certain things that you're gonna struggle with in this truth, right? Like, for example, when you go by, as an ex-smoker, when you walk by someone, you might smell that cigarette and be like, damn, that smells good, right? And for most people, cigarettes smell like shit. But as an ex-smoker, sometimes it goes away, sometimes it doesn't. And that's a permanent battle. And it's one of those things where you're doing after the spirit, not after the flesh. Because if it wasn't for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and putting some control on you, you would still be doing those things. Absolutely. You would still be doing those things, right? But you're not, because you have Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You have fear of the Lord, all right? If you do those things, it'll be a terrible punishment for you, right? So, it says in verse 6, for to be carnally minded, carnal, flesh, all right, relating to the body and not to the spirit, right? For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Really, you think you have more peace out in the world, right? But you don't. All right, that's what these people, I have more peace. You guys have all these rules and these laws and these regulations and these restrictions. No, you don't really have, any peace of mind out in the world, right? You don't understand things. Why are all these things happening to me? Why are all these things happening to me? That was one of the main things I used to ask myself all the goddamn time when I was out in the world. Man, why are these happening to me? What am I doing? Meanwhile, here it is. I'm smoking weed. I'm smoking cigarettes. I'm doing wickedness. I'm doing all sorts of evil things. I'm looking at other people's wives, all right, not even knowing, right? And eating pork, all right, eating unclean things, and I'm here it is, sitting here wondering, whoa, all these things happening to me, and you don't really understand those things. You don't really have that revelation until you come into this truth and you look back. You'd be like, man, see, that's why all that shit was happening to me. I remember what I did that day. I was sitting on the porch, I just smoked some weed, all right, and I was smoking a cigarette, thinking, man, why is all this bad shit happening to me? You're not even realizing, but now you realize it, right? For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal man is enmity, all right? It sounds like enemy, and it really is. It's opposition. It's against the Lord. Because the carnal mind is enmity against Yahweh, for it is not subject to the law of Yahweh, neither indeed can be. So they that are in the flesh cannot please Yahweh. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit, if so be that the spirit of Yahweh dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Hamashiach, he is none of his. So, you're either one or the other. You're either, of the flesh or of the spirit. And, and we were once of the flesh, all right, but through the grace and will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, he put us in this lot to understand and wake up, right? And hey, Barak the Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, call all Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for that. Because we could have been that same ass person in the world, being like these people, standing around with dreadlocks, smoking weed, all right, being dready Rasta, dreadlock man, all right? And here it is, they think, I feel like me doing the right thing, me take care of my body and take the good herb. No, you ain't doing nothing good for your body. You're me no pollute my temple. You're polluting it. Watched this documentary the other day about these Rastafarians, and it's just, man, no, man, you're still, you have some right ideas, you say Jah, all right, or Yah, all right, which it's really Yahweh, okay, but close, all right, closer than the Christians got it, all right, I'll give you that. Not, you ain't still ain't nothing though, because the half truth is still not the full truth. But you have one part of it, you have the Yah part, but you're forgetting the Hawa, okay? So it's Yahweh, all right, Yahweh. And you know about Babylon. All right, but you got the wrong concept of it. Babylon is when, the things in the world, and no, Babylon is referring to, that's Babylonianism, all right? It's not Babylon. Babylon is America, all right? So-called America, all right? Babylon isn't the state of wickedness, all right? Wickedness happens in Babylon, but that's Babylon. You can call it Babylonianism, but it's really everywhere, all right? But that cup of, that wine of the wrath for fornication, spread everywhere, but... so you don't really have it if Yahweh Bashem Yahushai hasn't reached out to you. You're not going to get that full understanding, no matter how much you read, no matter how many times you watch the lessons or stop by the camps. You're not going to get it, okay? Unless Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has reached out to you directly. You need that lifeline, man. You need that lifeline. Essentially, think of it as those rafts they throw out on those people when they go overboard. If you don't have that, it's your ass, man. Okay, it's your ass if you don't have that. So, yeah, there's more, that's more on being different than these people. I'm going to have to, do the thing where I cut it off there and come back and finish it up because I'm rolling up to the workplace now. But, yeah, man. So I'm gonna close it there. Lord willing, I'll come back and finish it up. Until then, Lord willing, shalom. All right, shalom. We're back. So, getting back into it, you need that lifeline, and if you don't take it, like I said, that's your ass, man. So, we're going to get to 2 Timothy 3 and 12 through 13, because while, we're not going to have some of the extravagancies, or, luxuries or certain things that the people of these worlds have, all right? Of this world has, right? You might see people with fancier cars than you, all right? You might see people with nicer houses or houses at all. You might not own a house. You might be staying with someone, or you might be, staying with someone or rooming up, or, in a tiny little apartment or apartment of its own. But you might not own a house or a property or something large and extravagant, right? And the Lord, it won't all the time give you what you want, but He will give you what you need. And a lot of the time, He will get you what you want as well. Okay, as long as it's within reason. And, He doesn't have to provide you anything, right? That's something, the Lord doesn't owe us anything, but essentially really death, right? Because of the wickedness that we've done. So it's through the Lord's mercy that we have these things. So you're not owed anything, right? You're not owed anything. So with, the things that you get, but the things that you get, usually it's the things that you need, not the things that you want. You'll have a car that will get you from place to place. You'll have a house that is sufficient, all right? But a lot of the times, and it's true, we end up having, some nicer things as well, right? Where some people might have luxuries that we don't. We have luxuries that other people don't as well, all right? The Lord will get us in, He tailors our experiences really to each own. He's not going to put you through, He knows the capacity of each person, and He's not going to put them through something that they can't handle. So, if someone could get proud if they had a bigger house, that could be the reason you don't have a bigger house, right? That could be the reason you don't have a nicer car, because He knows your limits. He knows that you'll get proud, all right? And if you're a part of elect, He's not going to put you in those situations, right? So, or, He knows if you have something too small, you might lose your mind. So He puts you in something a little bit bigger than some people would have, right? Or so on and so forth. And, if I can only speak for myself, because I don't know what the brothers have, but a lot of time, the Lord will give you even, minor luxuries, right? Some people out in the world, that are not in this truth, they might not have, an Xbox and an iPad and, three different gaming devices. They might not have those. And on top of that, an iPhone. They might not be able to have those things. Okay? But in this truth, I've noticed a lot of the brothers in this truth have iPhones, all right? I've noticed that, and I've seen it in the videos. A lot of us have iPhones. iPhones are not cheap, right? Some people out in the world can't have those things, okay? So we got to consider ourselves blessed. Now, there's some brothers that don't have iPhones, but some of the times that's because, one, they can't afford it, and that's because the Lord, they might be going through a situation for now, or it might be a test, or it could be a situation where if they had something, they could be proud, or a lot of the time, the brother just doesn't want them, right? The brothers just don't want them. Okay, some people just want like a cheaper little Android, an older little Android, right? Maybe they do most of their lessons on their computer, right? Or so on and so forth. So, the Lord will get you what you need, not always what you want, all right? And some of the times what you want, but mostly what you need. And you're going to see that you're not going to have is the extravagant, the most extravagant things ever, like these people in the world have. But this is all these, for example, with the Edomites and the nations, this is all that they have, right? Well, mostly with the Edomites, I should say, because the heathens, they'll have a little something in the kingdom, but it's not going to be anything great. I mean, it's just going to be standard living, right? Because they're not going away. The Edomites, they're going to be, after 1,000 years, they're going to be destroyed, all right, completely, never return as a nation. But so for Esau especially, this is all they have. So when they have Rolls Royces and 3 properties and beachfront properties and all these different things, just know that this is it for them. All right, once it's destroyed, that's it. That was for eternity. That's what they'll have, right? Meanwhile, we might not have a lot in this life, but in the kingdom, all right, when we get there, Lord willing, being translated as members of the elect, we're gonna have everything we're gonna have everything and forever to enjoy it. So this is 2 Timothy 3 and verse 12. we'll go from verse, we'll go from verse 12. It says, yea, and all that live godly in Hamashiach Yahushai shall suffer persecution, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. So that's how it's going to be for them. It's going to get worse and worse for them. All right, it's going to get worse and worse for them. Not only are they going to deceive, they're going to be deceived as well. So they might have more than you, but they might have more than you physically, but they don't have more than you spiritually. All right, we're poor of this world, rich in faith. All right, as the scriptures say. Again, if a brother wants to put that up, you can go right ahead, please. Baruch Shah. But you know, it's just one of those situations where they can have their material items. Okay, we like permanent. All right, permanent salvation. All right, something that's actually meaningful. Because again, you know, like the scriptures say, talking about lay not up for your treasures, lay not up for yourself treasure on earth, where thieves break through, nor steal. All right, and it mentions moths as well, roughly paraphrasing. But you know, lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, right? So we're not moths, but where rust doth not corrupt, nor thieves break through nor steal. Roughly paraphrasing, Slakia. But yeah, it's you know, it's those things are temporary items. Okay, all these different things, and you can't take them with you. Okay, it's not like, you know, salvation's gonna come and you're gonna have time to get your shit. Right, you're gonna have time to pack a bag. Wait 1 minute. I want to take Grand Theft Auto 5. I want to take this Xbox. Give me 1 minute. What do we got over here? Okay, I'll get the 4K TV. Let me get my phone. You know, I'll probably need some snacks for the way. Let me go grab a couple bananas, maybe an apple or two. You know, maybe I got a cheeseburger. Let me go grab a cheese. Let me get one more. Let me get one more Whopper, Lord. Hold up. Let me just go and get this Whopper real quick, and then I'll be on my way. No, we're not going to be able to have none of that shit with you. All right, none of this Babylonian is, you know, Grand Theft Auto 5 is not going to be there. Xbox not going to be there. And that doesn't mean that, you know, the kingdom's going to suck them because they don't have none of it. We're going to have other technology, man. I wouldn't even be surprised if we have a form of video games, right? You know, Jake loved playing the game. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some form of, that's crazy, man. It's crazy realistic, right? Limitless capacities. We don't know exactly what we're going to have, man. You know, different types of sports, I'm sure, right? Because Jake loved playing different types of games. So I'm sure they'll, you know, Jake has, you know, down here they have, you know, poker and dominoes, and they have all these different things, right? So I'm sure, you know, those things aren't going to be in the kingdom, but I'm sure we'll have some form of, games. Right? Slack you for the beeping sound. We're in a different car. Like I said, this one has a beeping up alarm for whatever reason. Yeah, so Jake loves games. They like, you know, playing different things, whether it's card games, sports, or video games. So I'm sure we'll have some sort of something like that in some capacity. And you got to realize, you know, people think that the kingdom is, you know, they make it out to be some type of some Christian, like some bullshit. Like it's going to be up there. There's going to only be you and like 4 other people, because some of these Christians think only 144,000. That's, you know, that'd be an empty ass heaven. All right, there's going to be, hello. Was anybody out there? There. Not going to see any, ain't going to be able to have no sex, ain't going to be able to have no wives, you won't be having no children because you ain't having no sex, all right, nothing, all right, it's, you know, what kind of pussy-ass kingdom is that, man? That ain't something that we're going to have, okay? That ain't something we're going to have, okay? It's going to be luxurious, it's going to be the best time you've ever had. The best time you ever had, and there's only a couple people. Here it is. There's more than 144,000 people just in Vegas. Okay? Think about that. And we're going to have the whole world, and there's not going to be even the population of Vegas in it? Think about that, man. That's ridiculous. Okay? And that's what these people are thinking. All right? Not knowing that 144,000 is a part of the elect. 1/3. 1/3 of the whole nation of Israel. That's a lot of people. All right, and you're also going to have the heathens there. Again, a lot of people. And these people don't realize that they're trying to dumb the kingdom down. They're trying to, we're gonna be in dirt huts and, walking around and, in sackcloth and, with sandals. And look, man, that's no. Your idea is all, we might wear sandals of some sort, but they're gonna be luxury sandals. They're not gonna be some sandals that, oh man, my feet kind of hurt when I wear these sandals, man. It kind of hurt the way it don't really support my arch. No, man, that ain't how it's gonna work. So these people, I think they kind of dumb it down because they don't want you to realize how good it would actually be. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some form of games, new sports, all right, new sort of video game. Who knows? We might not. We might have it. We might not. I'm almost 100% sure that we're gonna have some at least some capacity of game, right? Where it's if some type of game with gold or stones or whatever it is, some form of pastime like that, because, Jake loves that type of stuff. And sport, right? And I'm sure there'll be some type of sport because, Jake's inherently very competitive, all right? They like playing competitive games where they can wrestle and see who wins, all right, and games like that. So I'd be very surprised if we didn't have anything like that. And I'm sure we will have something like that. Video games, who knows? We might have, some augmented system. Who knows? You could look at something and, you could make the game yourself. Who knows, man? We don't know what exactly is going to be there. So things on this side aren't permanent. There's no reason to die over an Xbox and a yacht, all right, and whatever else, a steak, all right, when you're going to have something way, way better than that on a way higher capacity in the kingdom, okay? So, again, being holy, be ye holy for I am holy. Be separate from these people. These people don't realize, and these people, first of all, primarily worldly, being the Edomites, they don't have a reward coming to them, all right, other than destruction. That's their reward. And Jake don't understand, Jake is a dumbass, man. Jake doesn't understand the full capacity of this truth. They don't even understand, half these Jakes out there, 2/3 don't even realize that they're Israelites, okay? So these are the people that are going, and, they don't understand what's in the next life. And if they do even believe in the Lord, let me not say the Lord, because, that's the true Lord. If they believe in, God and Jesus Christ, all right, they believe in that bitch ass kingdom, right? The one where there's going to be almost no one there, and, it's going to be, everyone's going to be white, all right, and hello, it's me, Jesus Christ, welcome. And if you didn't make it, you're going to burn in hell. That's what they believe in, so they don't even understand the true capacity of what's coming, man. They don't understand it. Yes, there's going to be sex in the kingdom. How else are we going to bring forth, the 2/3 got to be reborn in the kingdom. How else are they going to come if you're not getting down, okay? And it's ridiculous, man. It's complete nonsense. It's complete nonsense. It's complete wacko-ness, okay? So let's go and get James 4:4. So these people, they're really stressed out, and they want to do everything that they can here because they ain't got nothing coming to them, right? They ain't got nothing. The Edomites, they ain't got nothing coming to them, right? Other than a sore-ass destruction, right? Terrible destruction. I'm talking about awful. Okay, not only are they going to get their ass whooped here, they're going to get their ass whooped in the kingdom as well for 1,000 years. So they really do have to have those cigars and that Patron and going to the casino and gambling it on up and going to a yacht and flying first class and doing all these things and going over to Paris and going to all these. They have to go and do those things because they won't get it in the next life. They won't. So it's not like it's really important for us to be doing all those things right now. First of all, because we're in a mourning, because we're in a punishment by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai for the wickedness that we've done. Which isn't to say you can't go and fly to Paris if you had the money or something. You can. It's a little risky now, being that we're at the end. But it's not to say, it's not a sin. It's not, wickedness to go and do that. Now, if you're in the spirit of that Bacchus spirit, all right, and that joyful, flesh-fulfilling, lust-fulfilling spirit all the time, of just complete, constant joy. I'm talking about to an extreme level, not, something that makes you happy, like you come home and watch TV. It's not like you have to come home, sit on the ground, and suffer. Right, you can come home, watch some TV, play a game, and of course you'll be happy and content while you're doing it. But I'm talking about that constant, being, drunk and, having that loud music playing, like, oh my gosh, man, I'm having the best time of my life, man, flying and stuff, and let's keep going all night, right? That's that Bacchus spirit. That's that spirit of mirth, Okay, and you don't want to be in that spirit. You know, you can have a vacation. You can go on a vacation and go and do those things. I'd be circumspect with it, right? And just wait through the spirit, and whatever you do, pray, all right? So, but yeah, man, you know, we can do those things sometimes, you know, we might go and do those things, not often, all right, but it's like I said, you know, some people might do it more often than others, but it's not wicked, you know, as long as it's not a constant spirit of mirth or, that, like I said, you know, that Bacchus spirit, the spirit of Bacchus. So, you know, and it's the spirit of Bacchus. You can look him up. He's like the he was god of you know, what was it? Was it like joy and pleasures? Let me see. Bacchus, a Roman mythology god of wine, revelry, and architecture. Yeah, he was known for bringing joy. He was it was it's a Greek equivalent to Dionysus. His festivals, the Bacchanalia, that's another thing. It was you know, festivities, really, you know, a god of festivities. You know, it's being like that, you know, being in a spirit, the Bacchus spirit, all right? Having these people, you know, that worship these type of gods, right? These mythological idols, right? They want to, like it says, with grapes and personality, joyous, and, you know, that constantly joyous mode and mindset, right? So this is James 4:4. You don't want to do that, right? That's worldly. So verse 4, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with Yahweh? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of Yahweh. So again, you know, it's okay, you know, to have fun. Don't do stuff like that every once in a while if you want to. You know, you might go out and do a trip. You know, you might go out to, you know, a state over or whatever with your wife. You know, go and have some dinner and you know, live it up for a little bit. Of course, in that same time, as a man, you need to be making your lessons. All right, that's your first priority still. And but you know, it's not something you should be doing all the time. If it's every once in a while, that's something. It's just like the same thing in moderation. Like, you know, you can go out to eat at a fancy restaurant, but you don't want to do that all the time because that's just ridiculous, right? You know, and we're not here for that. So, but hey, man, some people, you know, they gotta constantly stay, you know, going and doing that type of stuff. So bear with me while I grab a drink here. All right, but so yeah, back, you know, in James 4:4 with the friendship of the world. So things you do, it's the way. Okay, think of it this way: the way that people in the world do things that piss you off, the things you do piss them off. Okay, again, because it's be holy for I am holy. Separate. You're separate. You're different. All right, you're divided from each other. So the way that they're doing wickedness pisses you off. You doing right pisses them off. Again, woe to them that call good evil and evil good, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter, put dark for the light and light for dark. All right, not in that exact order, I don't think, but, you know, roughly paraphrasing. But that's just how it is. When you do those things, it pisses them off, just like when they do those things, it pisses you off because you're different. So, bitter for sweet. Isaiah 5:20, here it is. I wanted to read it. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Everything's backwards, man. It's upside down. It's all upside down. So let's get Micah 2:10, and then we're going to go ahead and close out. Let me move back over here. Bam. So Micah 2:10 reads, Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. So again, this is not our rest. This is not our rest. Okay, as I was mentioning earlier, we're here for punishment. This is not our rest. Our rest is coming. Okay, this is Esau's rest. All right, it's not our rest. This is Esau's rest. This is all they've got. This is not all we've got. We've got more coming. Okay, this is not all they've got. This is this is all they've got. This is not all we've got. This is it for them. That's all they have. Okay, they don't have any grand rewards in the future coming. They just have servitude of complete just servants and handmaids. That's it. That's all they have coming to them is bondage, slavery, and getting paid back for the wickedness that they've done. And they got to live it up in this life. They got everything, right? The planes and the stuff. And hey, if you were living in a trailer park as an Edomite, hey, sucks to suck. Oops. Sucks to be you. All right, you really, fucked your blessing out, didn't you? Because you didn't even get to have none of it, right? You could have tried to, you just, at that point, if you're an Edomite and you're living like that, man, you really done fucked up, right? You could have went down to Wall Street and you could have invested or done something. You must have been a real fucking loser, man, to end up in that situation. Because, a lot of these people, I know white people that are just losers, man, have college degrees and everything, didn't do nothing with them, sit around smoking pot, all right, and, and that's their life. I don't know, man. It's just bad decisions. Bad decisions is where these Edomites, and then on top of that, you have the small hats that are basically stealing your blessing away and hoarding it. So, hey, man, you can have your bitch ass little kingdom, man, with that you can't even get your way anymore. What kind of kingdom is that? Where you're on top, but everybody thinks black people are the coolest, right? And all your women want to get with black men. And, it's not cool to be a white guy anymore. Now you got to be a mixed guy to fit in, or a black guy or a mixed guy. And even the white guys want to dress up like the white guys. And they go, the white guys want to dress up like the mixed guys, or the white guys will go out and get perms, right? So they can look more mixed, all right? And of course, white, so-called Edomites, right? They'll go and get perms because they're not cool if they don't have the perms, because if they get the perm, people might think they're mixed. And mixed guys are cool, but it's not cool to be a regular old white Edomite. Think about that, man. Here it is. It's your kingdom, but it's not even cool to be you anymore. And all the cool everybody's favorite music is rap music, which is so-called black people. And they like the sports, and the best teams have the so-called black people on it. All right, football is ruled by so-called black people. Basketball is ruled by so-called black people. All right, hockey's getting to that point. All right, track is so-called black people. Some of the best comedians, all the best comedians, not all of them, but 99%. Well, all the best comedians are Jake, okay? Because George Carlin wasn't black looking, but he was a Jake, right? Most definitely. So, I should say more than likely, all right? So, I think he is, and the apostles think he is as well, all right? So, yeah, man, and Dave Chappelle, funny as hell. All right, Chris Rock, funny as hell. All right, you got plenty of other guys. Dion Cole. I was just watching a guy the other night. He was pretty funny. I forgot his name though. But yeah, man, all so-called black. The people, all the air conditioning, the stoplight, all these different things made by so-called black people. All right, the modern keyboard layout that you see today, all right, the WASD layout, with the, was created by a guy at IBM. I can't remember his name, black guy. All right, so, and that's the same keyboard layout scheme that you see that comes up on your phone, right? When you pull it up, just like this, QWERTY. Yeah, that was invented by a so-called black man, all right, at IBM, okay, computer manufacturer, all right, big back in the day in the 80s and 90s, right, the IBM PCs, PC Junior, all those different things, right, they were really top of the line at the time, all right, and PC games back then, we'd even say made for IBM and IBM compatibles, all right, IBM PC compatible, right, so that was, where it was. And so every history, wherever you look, man, is so-called black and brown. And think about having a kingdom where everything good was created by your enemy. What kind of shitty ass kingdom is that? Don't you want to be a part of it? Fuck no, man. Hell no. No. And then, yeah, to even, in this society, to even get famous, you gotta, even as a Edomite woman, you gotta go and get fucked, right? By someone, okay? By Weinstein or whatever his name is, or someone else. Or you have to go have some crazy weird ass invitation to some crazy weird ass party or island party or some Diddy ass party or something where there's a bunch of white dudes. And Diddy might just be an Edomite, right? He might not even be a Jake. So, you never know. You can't just base it off of skin color. He's heavily connected, just like Oprah. I don't think Oprah's a Jake. That bitch is a tear. All right, that's an Edomite. And you got to realize the industry knows who their own is, all right, because they can go back and trace history, all right, and see who was who. Okay, you might not be able to do it like that, but they know who they are. So even if you're black, they'll know who you are. Candace Owens, there's another one. She's a tear. All right, Candace Owens, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Oprah. It's under my impression that I think Rihanna is one as well. All right, because of the way that she acts. All right, and her music sucks. She doesn't have no sauce. All right, I know some black women might disagree, but no, there's plenty of better artists. All right, so and not good. And with that high level witchcraft and shit too. She's on that white girl level, all right, that Taylor Swift level shit, all right, with that witchcraft. People saying she's floating and levitating and shit. Think she's an Edomite. More reasons than just that. It's all combined with her. And of course, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Diddy is. I can't say 100% that Diddy is, but I really wouldn't be surprised he is. He probably is. All right. He probably really is an Edomite, all right, if I had to guess, because, his music wasn't even anything really that, I mean, some people consider him influential, but I don't think I can name you one Puff Daddy song. So, he's confused, doesn't even know what name he wants to go by. Puff Daddy, Sheen Diddy Combs, Diddy, all right, Puffy. Which do you want to go by, man? Choose a name. But, yeah, man, so these devils, this is all they have. So it's not like you're missing out, Jake. There's nothing to miss out. What you're missing out on? What, getting some smoke in your lungs and coughing? You're missing out on what are you missing out on? What do you feel like you're missing out on? There's nothing you can really you're merely missing out on. Oh, I didn't try this. Oh, it's got pork. Well, find a way, sure, yeah, it might piss you off because you might go somewhere and you say, oh, that looks good. What is it? Oh, it's got pork in it. God damn it. Right, well, guess what you can do? You might not be able to eat that, but you can look at it and be like, okay, how can I make a clean version of that, right? Okay, what is this? This is like some type of thing, and it has bacon bits on it. Well, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to get beef or turkey bacon. I like beef bacon better, all right? I think it has that crispiness that pork bacon has, and that's the really only thing that's good about bacon is that crispiness. And turkey doesn't get crispy. It's like you might as well just eat a piece of overcooked turkey at that point. But beef bacon has that crispiness. It curls up and has that crispiness. So it's not even good for you anyway. You shouldn't be eating that stuff all the time anyhow. All right. So I'm trying to fix my diet currently, so I try not to eat that shit. But even though today I ate like garbage, because I ate good and then I ate like garbage because it was late. It was my late day, so there's not much healthy, nutritious food you can get off late. But I only work super late one day a week, so if I can get that down to even just one day a week eating like that, I'd like to do it not at all. But sometimes you just can't help it. But these are our temples. We gotta take care of them. So like I said, I've been using those herbs. I want to do a lesson about herbs soon. But anyway, I'm gonna get up off here because I'm just rambling at this point. But hopefully it's still edifying about what I was talking about with but these devils, this is all they got. So when they're trying to say, trying to entice you to be like them, just be different than these people. This is all they have, all right, these Edomites, all right? And these Jakes, they think that this is all they have because they're following after these Edomites. But this is not, that's all there's there, man. The kingdom, man, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be a perfect kingdom, all right? It's not going to be some loser-ass kingdom like these Christians, their idea is, all right? No, this is going to be perfection, all right? So that's why you should be different than these people. All right, I think that's where this mini series is going to really close off because I pretty much described everything that needed to be described, Lord willing. Of course, if there's questions, you can feel free to ask them below, and I'll answer them as long as they're coming in the right way. But yeah, man. So that's where I'm gonna go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Dash. I want to say shalom to your brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith, keep being different than these people. Until next one, Lord willing, shalom.